Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here. Today's tutorial is for a stunning medieval starter house. This build uses materials which are easy to get early game, so let's get building. The materials you'll need for this build are on your screen now. You can always substitute one block for another block if you're having trouble finding it, and comment down below if you need suggestions for substitutions. Here is the outline for today's build. You can see that there are 3 gaps on the largest section of the build, as these will be filled in with some trapdoors, which will give the interior space a spacious feel, but will add dimension to the exterior. And this side here is the front. The first step is to build 4 high with some stone brick in each of the corners of the build. I'm also putting a 4 high pillar of stone brick where the corners of these 2 squares meet. Once you've got these in, we're going to create a little pattern like this. So we have a block, a gap and a block coming out from each side of the pillar where there's going to be a wall. Here's what we have so far. Next we'll begin filling in the walls with some andesite and cobble. And for this, I'm just creating a random texture, starting by building across the top of these 5 wide sections here. Now I will fill in this wall here, leaving room for a door. Now I'll fill in these walls, leaving room for a 2 high window in the center. And finally, on these sections here, I'll place a block in each of these gaps and then some stairs. Now you can see we've got most of the walls in. Now you want to put in the floor of this story of the build before you continue with the walls, so for this just use some cobblestone. Now come to the inside of the build, and behind each of these gaps you want to fill in with trapdoors. And on this side you'll just need to add a door for the front of your build. And then place your trapdoors across the top. That way when you flip them, you fill in the gap. Don't forget to add in some glass panes to the windows on the smaller section. Now we can begin adding decorations to this level, starting with some decorations on the corners of the walls. For this, begin with some stone brick walls. And you can see these are going in front of each of the locations where the stone brick goes the full height of the wall. Now you want to place some oak fences 2 high on top of each of these. When you get round to this left side here, just place 1 fence, as we're going to be having a little balcony above here, so we have something a little bit different. Next, starting with some spruce stairs above these fences here, make sure they're placed upside down. You want to alternate between stairs and slabs all the way around the build. And you should find that your stairs should line up so they're always placed above these fences. Notice how I'm leaving out the corners when I'm doing this. Now Now to create the little balcony, build out 2 more from these spruce here with some more spruce slabs. Then come underneath and place a stair on top of each of these fences, as well as a slab to connect it to the rest. Another detail we want to add is some little planters, and for this I'm using oak leaves with campfires on top, and then you can use a shovel to put out the flames. So I've got 1 going either side of the door, 3 in front of this window, 2 on this side, 2 on the back side. I think I'll tuck 1 in this little alcove and 2 on this side. The final detail to add to this level before we get started on the next story is a little red and white cloth above the door. So I'll start with some cobblestone walls with an oak fence on top, then I'll alternate between red and white wool. And you can choose whatever colour wool you want here really, so perhaps you might have blue or pink or green. Then I'm just coming up on the diagonal so it connects with this spruce here. For our second story, we'll start by placing some oak posts 4 high. These go in each of the corners of the larger square, and then in between each of these. So you'll see that there is a 2-block gap between each of the posts. Now we'll fill in the walls with some stripped birch logs, leaving room for windows and doors. So on the front we have 2 windows like this, so they're either side of this central post. On the left hand side we have 1 window here next to the post, and then we also have a door which is next to the post. On the back we're just mirroring the front with 2 windows. And for this right side here, we'll build across the top, leaving this section open as a door. And then we'll fill in this part of the wall completely. We also need to add a little gable window here. So to do this, we'll begin by placing some stripped birch logs placing forwards. If you're doing this in survival, it's easiest just to place a row of blocks and place your birch along it. Then we'll come up to, leaving a gap for a window here, and then 1 more at the top. Then to fill in the sides, I'm just placing some built-in storage with these barrels here. While we're at it, we can add in these larger gables, starting by building up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the center with some oak logs. Then on either side, place in some stripped birch logs facing forward. And then I'm going to grab out some birch planks for the rest of this gable here. And I'm going to come up 2, leaving a 2-block window, and then another 2 above it. Now I'll do this on the other side as well. Then, just like on this lower gable, I'll add in some built-in storage with some barrels, joining across these other 2 sides. Now, before we add some decorations to this story, as well as add in the roof and decorate the very top story, it's a good idea to add in the floors, as well as your ladder to get up and down. You can use a staircase if you'd like, but in this kind of build where it is a starter house and I'm going to need lots of storage from my survival builds, I like to use a space-saving ladder. You'll notice I'm also using some oak slabs here, and I'm placing these at the upper level above these windows. And I've also done the same here for this first layer. And of course, don't forget to fill in the little room there. Alright, now it's time for some more details. The first detail we'll add is a corner decoration. So we've got a upside down oak stair, a cobblestone wall, and then 2 oak fences. And I'll add these on each of the corners around this larger section of the build. While I'm doing that, I'll also fill in the windows with some glass panes. I'll also be adding in one of these pillars here, but this time I'll only go up 1 fence high, as I will with this one here, because we will have a little shade cloth going over here. Oh, and don't forget about the glass. Next, we'll add some simple but effective window decorations with some oak trapdoors as window shutters and some stone buttons above like this. I'll also add in an oak trapdoor above where we've got the door here. And while we're here, we might as well add in the railing as well as the red and white cloth. So I'll add cobblestone walls every 2 blocks along this long side, and then fill in the gap with some oak fence gates. I'm using fence gates here instead of fences because if I use fences, they don't connect to the walls. It also has an interesting texture, which is a bit different from your regular fences. Then I'll add a fence on top of these 2 walls here. And then I'll add some stripes with my red and white wool. Another detail to add is some pot plants. So we've got one at the front here with a 2 high oak leaf plant. And then I'm going to surround this dirt block with some signs. I'll put one of these at the back as well. If you have found a lush cave at this stage in the game, you can also replace these leaves with an azalea and a moss block. This looks marvelous. We're almost up to roofing, but first we need to add some details to this gable. Starting by coming out 2 with some oak logs like this, and then placing an upside down spruce stair here, a right way up spruce stair here, and then going across with some spruce slabs. I'll then place 3 fences going up between these 2 stairs and some window shutters. And don't forget to fill in the windows with glass. I'll then do this same decoration on the back side. This smaller gable also needs some decoration, and for this we'll come out 2 with the oak logs, and then add some window shutters. And now we're ready for roofing. The first bit of roofing we need to do is adding in the chimney. So come to this side here, near where we've got the smaller gable, and go to the back side of this center post, and build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with some cobblestone blocks. Then to the right of this, build up 2 high with cobblestone. And in front, coming down, starting kind of at level with this barrel here, build up 4 high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then switch over to some cobblestone walls, add 1 here, 1, 2, 3 here, and then starting 2 up, place 2 walls. Then to finish off the chimney, add in a campfire and surround with some trapdoors. Now that that's in, we can just run the roof straight into the side of it. Begin your roofing on this smaller gable by creating an edge out of stripped spruce logs facing forwards. And this edge should start with 1 log, then 2 logs, another 2 logs, and then finally 1 log on the very top. You might need to place in some blocks to help you place this. And then come up the other side again with 1 log, 2 logs, 2 logs, and then we've got our 1 log placed already at the very top. Then you want to place some spruce stairs underneath this edge, as well as at the very top facing forwards like this. And then place a spruce slab on the very top of the roof here. Now to fill in the sides of the roof, begin with some spruce stairs going along the bottom, and then a row of blocks with stairs on top, a row of stairs, and then finally, to finish off the center of the roof, place a block on top of this stripped birch here, with a slab on top of that, then a stair, and then a block. So it's got this kind of wavy texture. And then you need to fill in the back side of this roof, once again with some stairs, then with some blocks and stairs, and 1 more row of stairs. Here's how it's looking. Now for this larger roof, we'll start by creating a similar stripped spruce log edge. So coming forward 1, then up 2, up another group of 2, 1 more group of 2, and then place 1 kind of floating above like this. Then come up the other side. Once you've got your logs in, you'll need to place a spruce stair upside down here and a spruce slab on top. And then create this same edge on the back side. To fill in the main section of the roof, start on this side without the chimney, so the left-hand side of the build, and begin by building straight across the bottom with some stairs. Then go up with some groups of blocks and stairs. Now when you get to this level here, just go across with 1 layer of stairs like this. And finally, for the very top layer, place a block on top of each of these oak posts here. Then place a slab on top of each of these, and a stair facing towards the center, 2 blocks, and a slab. And you can see this creates the same wavy texture that we created on the smaller roof down there. Now we need to fill in the side with the chimney, and for this, you just build across the same way, starting with some stairs, and leave out the blocks where the chimney is. Now for some blocks, and stairs on top, going straight across the back with some more blocks, and stairs, and finally 1 more layer of stairs. And here's how our roof is looking. So we've got just a few more details to add, like lighting. Now this is actually a very important step when making a build, as lighting can highlight the shadows and of course the highlights as well, and can really make a build pop. So you can see I'm adding some slabs with some lights hanging in between each of these stairs here, and I'll do this on the back as well. And then I'm hanging lights in each of these alcoves, in the corners underneath this roof, and I'll hang a light down from a chain here. On the second story, I'll hang one of each of the corners of the roof, as well as underneath here. And then finally I'll hang some down from these 2 posts sticking out of either side of the roof. And I think I'll have one coming down 2 chains, and I think I'll have the other one coming down 3 chains. Look at that! So here is one way to display your medieval house. I've surrounded mine with some wheat fields, which are both beautiful and functional, and I've used red and white flowers as well as some green ferns to really make the colours in the build pop. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing or checking out my Patreon to support me further. See you in another video!